Yes guys, welcome down to the channel. Andy Cards here. Thank you very much for coming down. And today, it's a bit of an impromptu one really. I've been teaching all day. I've got a couple of hours break. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to jump onto the golf course. I'm going to do a quick 3-hole vlog, Carter versus golf. But in the meantime, I'm going to be talking through the shots I'm going to play, club selection, shot selection, what I'm going to do to my swing and how I'm going to manipulate my setup if I need to. I'm playing 16 to 18 here on the earth course. We've got some undulating fairways to talk through in terms of where the ball is positioned relative to my body and my feet. So stay tuned. Hopefully you're going to learn a few things. If not, then hopefully you're just going to enjoy some good par golf. All right, so the first hole is a driver. It's a long hole. It is 486 yards. It's downwind. We've got bunkers down the middle. So for me, this type of shot suits my new fade. Suits a little fade from left to right off that far bunker, just drifting it back into the middle of the fairway. Now downwind generally stops the ball from turning a little bit more than normal, but to be honest, it's not that windy. So I'm going to set the club face up to the middle trap. I'm going to open my feet so they're not going to be parallel to the target, they're going to be slightly open to the target, and I'm going to swing along the line of my feet trying to stabilise the club face as I normally would do anyway. Okay, first shot is a go. It's worked quite well. If anything, it's probably overdone it a touch, but again, there's only one bunker down the right side, which I have missed quite comfortably. Yeah, it's a good little start, that. All right, so not a bad outcome. So like I said, just short of this bunker. It wasn't hit well enough to kind of reach it, which is great now in hindsight. Got 180 yards to the flag, still slightly downwind, and it's a tricky flag position. The flag's basically cut in the water. All right, the flag is basically cut into the water. I'm gonna try and play the little fade. It all does slope from left to right. So if I do well enough to get the slope, it's gonna work out great. So let's see what we can do. Similar sort of idea here in terms of the fade. So the fade's a key one for me on this hole, because I want to fade it away from the two middle bunkers, and I want to fade it now in from the middle of the green in towards the flag and the water. I don't really, if I'm a drawer of the golf ball, I've got to start the ball over the water, and as a drawer that would make it very difficult or very worrying for the ball not to draw back. Sometimes it's too easy to block it. At least when you've got that fade swing working, it's a lot easier to maybe pull it, and in this case pulling it keeps the ball dry, doesn't it? So I'm going to go middle of the green. I'm just going to be confident enough that I've got the fade in the locker, and if it doesn't fade, if I do double cross it with the hands, I'm still in the middle of the green, and maybe even one of the contours from the green helps bring the ball around to the right anyway, so it feeds that way. I'm going to hit the ball into that direction, try and take the water out of this as much as I possibly can. Now the only way the water stays in this shot is if I just hit a big kind of slicey 7-iron, big high spinny 7-iron, which I generally wouldn't do, to be honest. I'm normally going to pull it, or I'm going to try and pull off the fade as well as I can. So got that tree that you can probably see in the distance there, that's my start line. That's where I'm going to set the club. I'm going to set my feet slightly open to that, so slightly left. Ball position just a bit forward of centre. I'm open, nice big high fade. Double crossed it. So the double cross still works fine, stays dry. Alright, so that's what makes this hole so beautiful. The flag position is probably the hardest, is actually up here. It's a very, very small kind of plateau in the middle of the green. Then you've got a big undulation down into the middle, which is pretty much where my ball is. Then another undulation down to the other side. So, I mean, this is going to be a very difficult putt. Okay, so it's going to go slightly downhill from here. It's going to move a little bit from left to right. It's going to kind of move up the slope to the right-hand side. And then I've got to try and figure out the pace next. It's got to almost die at the top of the slope and then just trickle down. But to be honest with you, the size of the slope going down to the flag, I don't feel like the ball can stop in time. So this is going to be hard. I have seen people in the past, this sort of type of putt is not even make it to the crest of the hill. So worst case scenario from this type of putt, make sure the ball at least gets down the other side. Make it a 3-putt at worst. If you leave a ball short of that brow of the hill, then it's still 3-putt territory because of how severe the slope is on the other way down. So make sure it's at worst a 3-putt, but in this case we're still praying for 2. Go, 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 go! God, misread the break. Go done all right. Nearly didn't make it. I mean, that was close. After preaching the whole time then about making sure it gets to the brow of the hill, that nearly stopped. So you could almost say it was perfect. Let's try and feel a bit of the slope with the body weight. Bogey. Always easy second time round. Tried out this new putt today, it's the Ping Sigma, and it's alright. This first couple of putts there, it feels a bit, no, not going to keep it, I don't think. One of the lads, one of the European Tour players left it for us because he wasn't really feeling it either, clearly. So he left it for us to give it a try, and yeah, it doesn't feel right in the hands. It looks beautiful over the ball, behind the ball. It doesn't feel good, you know? It's got to feel good. All right, so quite a disappointing bogey down the first hole, 3 putts. Didn't quite execute the second shot as well as I'd liked, but it's all right, it's okay, I'm happy. Nice to be out, nice to be playing. We're on the 17th hole, 100, that's the backdrop, lovely. 196 yards, Sunday pin position. Wind should be slightly into, I think it does feel like it is as well, maybe slightly off the left and into. So we've got 4 and 5 iron. Let's see what type of shot we're looking at here. It's got to be 5 iron, wind is nowhere near strong enough. Or at least doesn't feel like it, unless it balloons up off this tee. But it shouldn't do. I'm just going to try and knock it down, get my hands ahead of the ball, get my lower body rotating, try and get that initial ball flight quite low. Like that. That's absolutely, that's pure. Oh, get in. Oh my God. That is very, very close, isn't it? Damn it. That'd have been nice. It's actually not that close. But it was a good shot. That's all that counts. It was a good shot. Just not quite as close as I thought. Little insight actually into this final hole, the 18th hole on the earth course. The tee I'm stood on now is where the championship tee markers are, but this tee actually never gets used in the tournament. We actually use the tee in front where the members competitions are on, and the tee in front of that, which are for kind of more your kind of high handicappers, and it's obviously to encourage the players to go for the green in two. It's always into wind, which it is again today, and actually even on this tee now we have another one. We have an even longer one there. It's like nearly 700 yards from it. It's like 680 or something. And actually, only recently I found out, this is weird, only recently, there's another tee box up there, which makes the hole look so good. You know what, let's try it. Let's go and play off it. All right, let's go up to the top of this one. Up we go. Look at this. So this looks over the 17th. So we're gonna, that's the look from the hole now. How good does that look from here? Such a better perspective for the hole. I've only ever played off here once. It is a tricky little shot. Left bunkers, thankfully, are not in range because of the wind and how far back we are. So I'm just going to smash through that left bunker, keep it away from the creek. Down. Perfect. Good tempo. Good sequencing. Just got to be careful sometimes. I get a bit giddy from the top of the backswing, just spin the hips out of it. So that one was nice. Pulled the arms down, rotated. Love it. All right, so the tee shot on 18 is dangerous enough, and sometimes actually the further back you play this hole, the easier it gets, because the fairway is much wider at this point here. As soon as they start bringing the tees forward, we bring it, the creek starts to work its way in, the bunker contours start to bounce the ball towards the creek. It's really, really difficult. So now is the hardest shot of this hole. Based on where that tee was, the tee shot was a bit easy because the fairway is a bit wider, but the second shot now is just, all I can see are the tops of the rocks as the creek kind of meanders up the fairway. And it's basically just, this sounds horrendous to say it, but it's a bit of a hit and hope. I've got a target line, so I'm going to be aiming at the kind of the apartments that are kind of in the distance, right in the distance at Dubai Marina. And I'm just going to try and shape it with a little fade from left to right. And this is the type of shot where you don't mind slightly over fading it because it should still be on grass. But yeah, this is a tough one. I have to use a lot of club as well, so I'm just going to punch a 4-iron there. I like to punch this type of shot, the layups, because it gives me a little bit more control over the club face and the swing. So I'm going to go like a little punchy 4-iron, middle of my stance, slightly open swing, and then just let it carve. And then I'm going to fingers crossed and hope for the best. Big shot this. Oh no, get lucky. Get lucky, that got lucky. So I was thinking it might just land on the grass, but it didn't. It hit a rock, shot about 50 foot into the air, and it's nicely safe on the fairway. Happy days. Alright, so hopefully the second to last shot of this video. 120 yards into wind. So, as I was saying before, you're probably thinking, what rocks have I hit? So I've basically hit these rocks just to the side, and it's bounced straight up into the air and plonked itself back down into the fairway. So I got super, super lucky. Which is rare. You know what? The amount of times I've rolled down this fairway and ended up rolling into the water, finally, we get something back. So I'm going to set this ball out just to the left side of the hole. It's right on the front edge as well. If I come in with too much spin, it could spin off the front. So I've got an extra club, and I'm just going to try and punch it in there so it takes a bit of the backspin off. But as we all know, wedges is not my strong point. That is a green in regulation. That's all I'm saying. That needs to spin back and right around 40 feet. What have I learned about my game today? I'm not great today at hitting fades. Every fade I've hit bar the tee shot on the first hole, I've double crossed. Alright guys, just before I wrap up this final bit of putting action, massive thank you for checking out the channel. If you are new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications. Videos coming out every 2 to 3 days at the moment, so loving creating content for you guys at the moment, so please do keep watching. Also, if you've enjoyed this video in particular, please do hit that like button, share it with your friends, follow me on my social media platforms as well. We've got Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, lots of golf news going up there and lots of golf kind of updates from Dubai. We're lucky to be here at the moment, lucky to be playing golf at the moment, so making the most of it. So if you're enjoying watching some golf content, please do come and check me out again. But guys, let's wheel this birdie in. Also, I don't even know if this shows up on the edit, but anyone's heard my watch beeping the whole way through, it's the missus. You know what you've got to do? Just ignore it. Always just turning at the end. So par to finish, 1 over par. So on my Carter versus Golf series, that is a loss. However, today has been very enjoyable. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have too. Thank you for checking out the channel. I'll see you again very soon. I better answer some of these messages. Maybe not actually, I'll play 6 more. Why not?